I'm sure you've heard the news, but nothing could prepare Manila for the horror of the Chop Chop Lady case, a crime so chilling it still haunts the city's memory to this day. This is the story that terrified a nation, shattered a sense of safety, and left scars that have never fully healed. Manila in the early 1990s pulsed with energy, jeepneys roaring, vendors shouting, and millions hustling beneath the tropical sun. Children darted between traffic, their laughter mixing with the blaring horns and the calls of street hawkers. The air was thick with humidity and possibility, and every corner seemed to promise a new story. Skyscrapers towered over slums, and dreams mingled with daily survival. The city's wealth and poverty stood side by side, separated only by a few city blocks or a crumbling wall, yet even in struggle there was community. Children played basketball in the streets, and families found joy in small victories and simple pleasures. But as night fell, the city transformed. Neon lights flickered to life, but darkness swallowed the rest. The city's pulse slowed, and its dangers became more pronounced. In the shadows, secrets and dangers thrived. Even the most familiar streets could become treacherous after dark. In 1993, a crime would shatter Manila's sense of security, a crime so brutal it would scar the city's soul and echo through its streets for years to come. Elsa Castillo embodied the quiet determination of her generation. Born and raised in Manila in the early 1970s, Elsa grew up surrounded by family warmth and the values of hard work and compassion. Even as a young girl, she was known for her thoughtful nature and her ability to listen, always putting others before herself. At 22, Elsa worked as a computer analyst, supporting her family and building a modest life. She navigated the early world of technology, striving to prove herself in a male-dominated field. Her colleagues admired her quiet confidence and willingness to help others. Friends described her as gentle, responsible, and deeply devoted. She cherished simple joys, weekend outings, shared meals, and long conversations under the Manila sky. Elsa's world revolved around work, family, and her partner Joey De Leon. Family dinners were sacred, and her relationship with Joey was a source of happiness and hope. Elsa and Joey found comfort in each other's company, often strolling through the city or sitting together in quiet parks, dreaming of the future. But beneath the surface, tensions simmered, pressures and conflicts hidden from view. Elsa sometimes confided in close friends, but always tried to remain strong. Elsa, striving for stability, was unaware she stood on the edge of tragedy. Her life, full of promise, would soon be cut short in a way that shocked the nation. News of Elsa's fate spread quickly, sparking outrage and sorrow across the country. Her story became a rallying cry for justice, a reminder of the fragility of life. Elsa's memory endures, not only as a victim, but as a beloved daughter, friend and partner. Her quiet strength and kindness continue to inspire calls for change in Manila and beyond. The horror began quietly, almost unnoticed at first, as plastic bags started appearing across Manila, left in alleys, on sidewalks, and in shadowy corners of the city. Most people dismissed them as just more garbage, a common sight in the bustling metropolis. But these bags were different, and soon their contents would shock the city to its core. Inside, investigators found human remains, legs, a torso, a head, each part gruesomely separated and scattered in different districts, as if the killer wanted to taunt the city. The city recoiled in horror. This was no ordinary crime, but something far more sinister, something that would haunt Manila for years to come. The methodical dismemberment revealed a chilling calculation, a cold and deliberate mind behind the violence. Police struggled to make sense of the brutality, and the public's imagination ran wild. News of the grisly discoveries spread like wildfire. Headlines screamed of a possible serial killer, and rumors swirled through every neighborhood, turning fear into a city-wide epidemic. Suddenly, every discarded bag became a source of dread. People hesitated before approaching what once seemed like harmless trash, their minds racing with terrifying possibilities. Manila's vibrant energy faded, replaced by suspicion and terror. Streets that once bustled with life now felt tense and empty, as if the city itself was holding its breath. The victim was nameless, the killer unknown, and the city was left in a state of collective anxiety. People gathered in hushed groups, whispering theories and sharing their fears. In homes and on the streets, residents questioned their safety. who could commit such evil? Was the killer someone they knew, or a stranger lurking in the shadows? Police patrols increased and security guards checked bags at building entrances, but the gruesome discoveries had already shattered any illusion of security. The city was united in fear, desperate for answers, clinging to hope that the nightmare would soon end. Candlelight vigils and prayer gatherings became common as communities sought comfort and protection. But as darkness fell each night, Manila knew the nightmare had only just begun, and no one knew when or if it would end. Police faced a grim puzzle: scattered remains, no identity, and a city demanding answers. Forensic experts worked to piece together the body, noting precise cuts and a telling detail: polished fingernails. This clue hinted at the victim's identity and recent habits. Investigators released descriptions, urging the public to help. Media coverage intensified, amplifying the urgency. A worried family recognized the details and contacted authorities. Dental records and photographs confirmed their worst fears. The remains belonged to Elsa Castillo. The city's nightmare now had a name. The search for her killer became a national obsession. The investigation shifted into overdrive. With Elsa identified, the media gave her a new name, the Chop Chop Lady. The moniker was sensational, capturing the public's morbid fascination. The case dominated headlines, turning Elsa's tragedy into a national spectacle. Journalists chased every lead and the pressure on police mounted. The story became a symbol of fear and outrage, gripping the country. Yet, the media frenzy risked overshadowing Elsa's humanity. Her family grieved in public, their pain magnified by relentless coverage. The Chop Chop Lady became both a cautionary tale and a cultural phenomenon. The case forced the nation to confront uncomfortable truths about violence and trust. Elsa's story was no longer just hers, it belonged to an entire country. With Elsa's identity known, suspicion quickly fell on her partner, Joey De Leon. He hadn't reported her missing, and their relationship was fraught with jealousy and conflict. Friends described Joey as controlling. Elsa had confided her unhappiness. Evidence mounted blood traces in their apartment, witnesses seeing Joey with heavy bags. The case against him grew stronger with each revelation. The idea that a loved one could commit such horror unsettled the public. The monster, it seemed, was not a stranger, but someone Elsa trusted. Joey De Leon's arrest and trial became a national spectacle. The prosecution presented a damning case: blood, evidence, witness testimony, and a history of conflict. The defense argued the evidence was circumstantial and the investigation rushed. The courtroom was charged with emotion, the nation divided but riveted. Details of Elsa's fate were laid bare, shocking the public. The trial tested the justice system under intense scrutiny. For many, it was about more than guilt or innocence. It was about reclaiming a sense of safety. The verdict would define the nation's response to violence and trust. Joey De Leon was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. The verdict brought relief, but the scars ran deep. Elsa's case forced the country to confront domestic violence and the dangers within intimate relationships. It changed police procedures, emphasizing forensic work and media management. The Chop Chop Lady became a warning passed down through generations. Her story shaped public awareness, urging vigilance and caution. The case left a permanent mark on Filipino culture and crime history. Elsa's tragedy became a lesson the nation could not forget. Decades later, Elsa Castillo's story still haunts Manila. Despite a conviction, doubts linger. Could one person commit such a calculated crime alone? The case remains a chilling reminder that evil often hides in plain sight. Elsa's fate shattered illusions about safety and trust. Her story urges us to listen for warning signs before tragedy strikes. The Chop Chop Lady case leaves us with more questions than answers about human nature. Elsa's memory endures, a silent warning echoing through the city's night.